If you're looking for an easy way to make funny photographs or dramatic photographs or something that shouldn't really be there, then in this video I'm going to walk through some very easy art technique that you can use. Basically, you take a picture and then you stick something in there that shouldn't be there. So I'll walk through how easy that is in this video. Okay, so I'm just using Photoshop, and I've actually got an old version of Photoshop. So if you're using Affinity Photo or Inkscape or any sort of photo editing software, you can recreate this stuff pretty easily. The whole point of this is that it's very easy to do. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my base image. I'm going to go to File and Place. And in this case, I'm grabbing a picture of an island. So I'm just going to move this so that it's sort of down low. I'm going to move it so it's a bit bigger. And there's a picture of my island that I want to use. I'm actually not going to be using the sky. I'm going to be removing the sky. That's the easy art technique. So I'm just going to make this a bit smaller. I'll place the image right about there. So I've got about 1/3 is the ocean. And then I'm actually going to remove the sky in this case. So I'm going to go to my magic eraser tool. I'm going to make sure my tolerance is quite low. I'm only going to put it down to 10% because I just want to remove the blue piece here. And we'll see here, it's just going to take off the blue just like that. And I'm kind of going quick here for this tutorial, but you get the idea here. If you were obviously making a professional photograph, you'd make it spend a little bit more time on it. But there we go. Now, so here's the idea with this background is you're going to put something else in the background that shouldn't really be there. That's the easy art technique. So I'm going to go to File and Place, and I'm going to grab a picture of an explosion. And this is just like a military picture from Raw Pixel. And so I'm just going to use this now as my sort of thing that shouldn't be there. That's the technique, okay? So when you put the explosion on here, you just need to remove a little bit more of the actual background. There we go. So now it looks like an island that's on fire. So you're going to grab the actual explosion, make it a bit bigger, and there we go. Now, there's techniques you can use to remove the transition pieces. So you can see here the trees. The trees have the sky still in the background. So for example, in Photoshop, there's a background eraser tool that I can just use. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to click on the sky. And then that will remove a lot of the actual burning. Now I'm actually making sure that this is more saturated than I would normally do because I want to make it look as if the fire is raging right through the island. So I've actually got it right like that. So if that's all you did, that's a decent photo. You know, obviously it's not perfect because we've got a little bit of land sitting over here. So I would just remove that land. I'm just going to go to Eraser tool. Just going to make sure you're in the right image. Here's the image here. I'll rasterize it. And then I'm just going to remove it. So I can remove the land down here. Now what you can do when you've got the sky is you can just take an eyedropper and you can just sample the sky. And then from there, you can just remove the entire sky. So I'm actually going to make my tolerance much bigger. I'm going to make it 50 and that'll just remove like the whole thing, more or less. Okay. And then I'll just remove that little piece there. And then you can just add in a layer and underneath everything, just fill it in with your actual picture, with your actual color. So now other than the whites, which I can remove off of the original image, it's pretty easy now. I can just go in and I can just remove it. I can just take it like that. And there's a little bit on this layer there that I'll get rid of. Whoops. So there it is there. So again, I mean, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but the idea would be that you've got a picture with an island on it, and then you've got something that shouldn't be there. That's the easy art technique. You could have a nuclear blast in the background. You could have a massive animal like a hamster or something. You could also put stuff in the foreground. The general idea is that you want to put stuff in the picture that shouldn't be there because it makes it look really weird and different. I'm just going to add in one more technique here that I'm going to use from my last example. And I've got a starry background that I can put in. So this starry background, for example, you could put that in there, and I'll just make this a bit bigger. And now that background will sit just below the explosion. Now I would have to clean it all up, but you get the general idea. You could have an explosion going off, you could have meteor showers, you could have planets coming in. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff with this art technique. Again, I'm going really fast. You would obviously have to fine tune it, but the general idea here from an artistic standpoint is that you would have something that's really picturesque and then something spectacular in behind it, an explosion or something like that. So you're just mixing and matching different elements. Hope you guys found that helpful. This is a very easy art technique if you want to make funny t-shirts, for example. So you'd have like a picture of an island on fire and you'd have like I hate Mondays, for example, like something like that. So you would make it, comedically absurd, and that's the general idea. Hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, please do click that like button. And as always, thank you so much for watching.